Boy, I should have reacted to this video a long time ago. But however, I need to react to this because we need to figure out how we can get AEW back on top again. And right now, they've been lacking for 2 weeks, and we're wondering what's going on with Dynamite. Why is the numbers are dropping 100K each week? But again, this is old, but I think the conversation seems relevant because nothing has changed and we have to figure it out. So let's hear what BCB and the guy that he's interacted with has to say about AEW and what is the concerns with AEW and why it needs to change with AEW. And then we're going to go along with that. So let's go ahead and get started. And anybody that have any suggestions for AEW, comment down below, let me know. Let's go ahead and get started.
Wrestling fans, what's going on, man? It's Black Couch Booking here with a brand new video. I got my dog, Affluential Sports, in the building. Say what's up to the people. Let them know where they can find you real quick.
Y'all go sub to my YouTube channel, Influential Sports, where passion meets precision. You can find me on TikTok as well and on Instagram and Threads, as you can see on the screen.
Yes, indeed, man. We got a new video for y'all. Shout out to the AEW heads, always asking me for AEW content. I got y'all. This is the one. But we got to be fair. We got to be objective. I could make a lot of videos criticizing WWE, and we rock with AEW heavy. So if this is your first time coming here, this isn't an AEW slander channel. This ain't an AEW slander conversation. But at the end of the day, if you love something, you can't critique it. And we love AEW. We rock with AEW heavy. I think I can speak for myself and Ed in that sense. So we want to give our biggest issues with AEW. And I will say this again, AEW has been doing a phenomenal job. For the past 2 years, I would say that everything's been pretty much on point except for certain things. So I'm gonna let my dog Affluential Sports give his first issue with AEW. We're gonna go two apiece.
All right. My first issue with AEW is the 8-man, 6-man, 6-woman all-star tag team matches. I think this comes from AEW not having live events, so it's put them in a position to where they had to do this, to where they got to build chemistry between these superstars. But the concept of it, it's like you say it's a 8-woman all-star tag match, and then you got Julia Hart there, and she's only been a TBS champion. So it's not even all-stars every time, and that's not a bad thing, but she hasn't been a main event. She hasn't been a world champion yet, so how can she be in an all-star tag team match? So it's a good way to build chemistry, but putting it on TV, it's putting feuds together that don't really make sense. That's one of my biggest issues.
I like that. I'm actually happy you brought that up because I didn't even think about that. And I think my next point kind of coincides with a similar issue that I have. But I definitely don't like. I can't give away my next point, but it's like they do things and it's kind of like they just. I'll give Tony Khan credit for showcasing talent on a consistent basis and trying to utilize the entire roster. So I think that's probably one of the main reasons. But like you said, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. I say, especially when they do that with the men as well, it's like they be mixing stories that's kind of like you putting two and two together that need to be separate, because when you put them together against the other two they feuding with, the people that they feuding with most of the time don't even rock with each other like that. So they're having a senseless tag team match that's like, all right, yeah, I'm going to tag team with him for this match, but I don't even like him. I just feuded with him a couple of months ago. So stuff like that is really dumb for sure. And I think that's definitely something that they need to address in the future. For Collision is whatever anyway. So I think you could do that for Collision every now and then, but Collision has started to pick up a little bit, especially since it seems like the TNT champion is the one that's going to be running things on Collision. So it's been picking up a little bit, but they definitely got to get rid of that for sure.
Well, I think they might took that as consideration because we haven't had an all-star tag team since September. And this was the last match we have in Collision that was not that. So I think they set that up just because they wanted to do a little tease for the tag team titles that they pretty much brought to the table. But the main thing we haven't gotten yet is a specific date on when the tag team titles or when the tournament is going to start for those tag team titles. So I don't know when Tony Khan is going to do that, but he needs to do it soon because to me, that's going to bring ratings, especially when you have multiple women that need to do it. So hopefully he'll do it after Wrestle Dream. But of course, we got Blood and Guts. And so I think that hopefully that match will bring the ratings back up, but we can't have no counter program. I don't know if I said that right, but we definitely can't have no counter program that day. So I think they took that in consideration. I think they stopped doing that, but I didn't mind it. I kind of like to see everybody on deck, but however, it is good that they ended it though, just for the people that are annoyed by it. But I don't have a problem with it, but some people do. So now that we brought back solo, single competition, I think we're safe to say that kind of stopped. So now we just have to wait until, these women get in the tournament. So we're just waiting on that. But other than that, they're pretty much done with that. So now we're just waiting for the tag team tournament and also Blood and Guts. So there you have that. Let's continue.
And with that being said, I think this kind of coincides with my issue. It's not the biggest issue, but I think AEW has a great women's division. I think they stacked. And I think that's the issue. I think Tony Khan needs to stop signing new women talent. I think you need to lock the roster for at least the next 8 months, unless something drastic happened. Like if Bailey's available, you got to sign somebody like Bailey. But you don't need to go to Japan and in the UK and just sign somebody that's kind of got a little bit of buzz, because it seems like for instance, right? Like you got Tekla, but you got to push Tekla to make her look good. But you still have a Jamie Hayter. You still have a Willow Nightingale. You still have a Chris Statlander. You still have a Queen Aminata. And it's like, damn, bro. You still have a Megan Bain. You signed Tekla, and Tekla got to get pushed to the forefront. Nigga, Megan Bain should be a beast right now. She seemed kind of regular. Like, this ain't the same Megan Bain that just had a championship match against Toni Storm. This is definitely not the same Megan Bain. And I'm not blaming Penelope Ford. I don't think Penelope Ford is watering her down. I think the Penelope Ford and Megan Bain thing is working a little bit better than the Julia and Kiana James thing. But what I will say is, the more and more you keep signing, the more and more you got to compensate for who you just signed. And the people who were there previously, like a Queen Aminata, like even Queen Aminata and Willow Nightingale teaming up was kind of random, because I thought Queen Aminata was a heel just a couple of months, just not too long ago. At least that's what it seemed like. So now it's kind of like, I think now you're just pivoting too much because you have literally nothing to do, but you want to showcase everybody. So what you think about that?
I'm glad you brought that up, because the first person I thought of was Alex Winder, and maybe it's a bit of nepotism with her being engaged to Will Ospreay, but I don't want to get too deep into that. But I just found it interesting how she came and she had a shot at the Ring of Honor title against Athena, and 2 matches against Mercedes, one in the Fatal 4-Way for the TBS title, while Tekla isn't getting her first championship match until All Out, September 20th. But I don't see how Tekla had to work out. She had months to work her way up to get to this point, and then Alex Winder, she coming there. She already in main event feuds in Ring of Honor, and she fighting against Mercedes one day. So where's the balance in that?
Well, Alex Windsor is back in Ring of Honor. I mean, I don't know what she's doing over there, but I do know that she's over there. So, and I don't know when she's coming back to Dynamite or Collision, but she's over there. So, but, I do understand what they're saying. I mean, I do think they should do something with the women's talent. I mean, even Leo said that, that they should do something with the women's talent. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio. I played it before, but I'm going to play it again. This is what he was speaking about, what AEW can do to bring their marketing up. And I'm going to replay it again just so you guys can get it. So let's listen.
Okay, as a person that's been watching since 2019, right, since its inception, I think, let's be real, they had the star power to get that like a million, like WWE does, right? They have that. They have the star power to do so. I think the thing is building up compelling storylines and continuing those compelling storylines week in and week out, right? What I mean by that is get people reasons to watch Collision, right? You think about back in the day, like when they first started Collision, that was going to be a CM Punk show, and I think it was either that or Rampage, but you know what I mean. So they were giving people a reason to watch. That is what we need. If we're going to be doing, example, the current storyline that they're probably about to build up between Hangman and Samoa Joe, build that. Build the tension. Take that from Dynamite over to Collision. Get people reasons on Dynamite to tune in on Collision, right? Building compelling stories. I've seen times where they will start up a storyline on Collision and then bring it to Dynamite. Now, is that sometimes a good option? Yes. But the thing is, not everybody watches Collision, right? Most people, like, I'll be honest, I've been trying to get into Collision, but sometimes the storyline just, either I not fully invested like I should be or whatnot, but I mainly just watch Dynamite and I watch the pay-per-views. Back then I was watching Dynamite, Rampage. I was watching weekly, but we need more storylines to get invested. And then another thing they need to continue to build is a stronger women's division. Star power wise, they're set. They're set. But the problem is they're feeding everybody to Mercedes, and that's an issue. I get it. You want to bring up, give her a long title reign to beat Jade Cargill's, which I understand. And let's be real, she's gonna break that record. But the thing is, how many people do we have to sacrifice that should be being built up in the process? Same thing with the Tony Storm championship reign. A lot of people, they were just thrown in there without no proper build to getting to that moment. Prime example, Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne, honestly, should have went through the TBS title scene, built her up as a credible threat, then build her up to go after Tony Storm, right? Or if you would have been building her up as the monster that she is, build her up throughout this year and had her win at All In when they did the Casino Gauntlet. Then had her win that. Then she goes up to compete for the Women's World Championship. Boom. We have a star. You see what I'm saying? We have so many stars that we're putting out there, but it's just like, look at what we just did with Mercedes. We just threw Rio out there. No build. No build. They tried to make some type of sense of it, but there was no build. If we're gonna have these people going up against Tony Storms and Mercedes and Chris Statlanders of the world, build these women up week in and week out. Put them on Dynamite. Put them on Collision. Put them on weekly television on the bigger stage, so the people that are watching, Dynamite like myself, and we see them having these performances, be like, okay, I like seeing what Megan Bayne's doing. Let me check out what she's going to do on Collision. Let's see how they're going to build her up after what she did on Dynamite. That's what I'm talking about. If we can do that, not with just the women's division, and build up a stronger, tag division. Now we have the tag titles for the women, and going over to the men's side of things, we need stronger, storylines going after the tag division for the men, because right now it's lackluster. They kind of deflated, but now we have Jurassic Express back. We'll see how that goes. You got the trios. That hasn't really went anywhere. I thought they were going to give it to Ricochet and Gates of Agony, but I guess they're not going to, because now that they're doing the storyline with MVP, with the Hurt Syndicate. So I don't know where this storyline is going to go from there, but like, I enjoy AEW, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like they need to continue building bigger, storylines that warrant being on the pay-per-views. And the same thing goes for the pay-per-views itself. You don't necessarily have to shove 10, 12 matches on the show. You don't have to. It's okay, giving us 6 matches or whatever the case might be. Put the matches that warrant being on the pay-per-view. It's okay to put some of these matches on Collision, on Dynamite the week before or the week after.
Well, I know BCB mentioned, Bailey coming to AEW next year, but after what happened with Santo Escobar, it's obvious that they're going to try to keep their superstars as long as they're addicted to the money. And if I was Bailey, I wouldn't even give a fuck about the money, but with inflation and everything, shit. But hopefully Bailey comes next year, but judging by the looks of it, we don't know. I mean, like I said, you know, at least Jasmine walked away, but with Bailey, it's like, do you really want to leave? And I'm looking at WWE like, why the fuck do you care? Why do you care? Just let her go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish Bailey would just say no, but obviously, we have to wait on that. But hopefully Bailey comes to AEW next year. But right now, AEW is not getting the ratings that they want. But that's why, you need to treat your women correctly. So I say for the TBS title, give it to Thekla, right? And then you could have Jamie Hayter take it off of her. And then you could pass the belt to Megan Bayne. And then you could pass the belt to either Sky Blue or Holly Cameron, right? And then after that, you can give the belt to either back to Julia Hart, or you can give it to Anna Jay or Tay Middle. You know what I'm saying? Or Queen Emanata, or Mina, you know what I'm saying? Give it to them. And then if you give it to them, then I'm pretty sure people will pay attention. But you got to book them correctly, right? So that's why I'd look at it. But we definitely need to treat the women fairly. And I think they're okay, but but we got to do something about that TBS title, and I'm still trying to figure out who's gonna take that belt. And I want it to be Harley Cameron, the one that should take that belt, but we got to set up a storyline for them, Otherwise, we can't get nothing done with it. So I'll keep a close eye on what Tony wants to do with that, but right now I'm still waiting for the date of when the tag team titles are coming, and I'm still waiting. So, but tomorrow is Collision, so I'll get in the comment box and under the videos and see what I can dig up. But until then, we just have to wait. Just be patient, So, but hope I get to see Bailey at AEW. But right now, she's busy with this storyline with Lyra. So, yeah. So let's continue.
Yeah, man. Like, you got a lot of talent, and I'm not even saying that the alternative. Like, I'm happy they got rid of Rampage. I think Dynamite, Collision is straight. Ring of Honor, the people who can watch it, they watch it. The people who can't, it is what it is. But like they're really getting in dangerous territory with some of these, because like I said, like definitely somebody like a Chris Statlander, it's kind of like, oh well, let's tease her joining the Death Riders, and if she doesn't join, which is very probable, she'll join up with Hook, Daniel Garcia, blah blah blah, to be the opposite of the Death Riders. They'll be the life gliders or some stupid shit. But it's like that's not going to do anything. Like, she should be in a title picture. She don't got to win it, even though I think she should win. But if that ship is sailed, like, we don't even know who's going to beat Mercedes Moné, because you got 50 people that are logical candidates. Like, I think AEW, like, having availability is fine, but it's not like hella women is hurt. All these women are active and good to go. So it's like, damn, bro, like, what you about to do? So I think that's definitely an issue.
That's why I said I think they'll benefit for having women's tag titles, because they actually utilize their tag teams. So it's like, and it would make more sense to put Chris Statlander and Willow together. I don't see with them two being with anybody else. Just seems kind of weird to me. But I think they could do a good job with tag team titles.
No, that's for sure. I definitely agree. So what's your next issue, which is your biggest issue with AEW?
The next issue, I say the booking of the tag team division. I expected a lot more with this Hurt Syndicate run. I think, and obviously Tony Khan isn't the best at booking big men. And then he had the Hurt Syndicate. Their build up to the title was cool. They had a solid reign, but it was a lot of matches against guys their styles that didn't mesh. Then you put Brody King and Bandito together. Didn't explain it. Didn't even tell. I don't even know what a Buddy Matthews injury is. We still don't know that. And it's like, I like the stuff they're doing with the Young Bucks, but the fact they ain't got a tag team title shot since losing it don't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely have an issue with the tag team booking. I mean, I'm kind of happy that he didn't go too insane with making the Hurt Syndicate like OD, like they was being like a tag team every single week and doing just the most outlandish things. Because then it would have been way unbelievable of who was gonna beat them. But this is way unbelievable of who just beat them. I don't care if it was a triple threat tag team. I don't care if it was 10 tag teams. Brandito, bro, whatever the hell that, bro, that, and that's gonna get to my next issue, but that makes no sense, especially somebody who's Ring of Honor champion. Why did he need a tag team belt, bro? Like they need to, like companies got to take certain things from each other. They need to treat Ring of Honor. I'm sorry to say this, Ring of Honor got way more history and way more prestige than NXT, but it's kind of like if somebody's the Ring of Honor champion, they should not be allowed to win a belt on the main roster unless they're going to relinquish that belt. And that's not to say that the tag team belt is as valuable as the Ring of Honor championship. I'd rather be the Ring of Honor championship, Ring of Honor champion, in my opinion. But like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like that don't make no sense at all. Which definitely brings me to my next point. Before you about to go, and I'm gonna say it after you.
Yeah, I think the one positive that they did the callback with Ricochet, I think that was cool. But he should have let FTR win if he was gonna do that. Like I have no problem with that story with Ricochet against the Hurt Syndicate. I think that's going to be a good trios match with him and against Agony. But you should have let FTR win. I don't see the purpose of Rodito being tag champions.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, honestly, we really didn't need this match at Wrestle Dream. I'm still stick to my guns. I'm not watching this match unless these two on the right portray each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need change, because right now your ratings is going down cable wise, and it's just not looking good, Tony. It's not looking good. These guys, I can't even pronounce their name. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, well, actually, both teams, I can't pronounce any of them. You know what I'm saying? I can't pronounce any of them. You know what I mean? Like, I keep saying burrito. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that bad. And since Buddy Matthews is making a little tease on Twitter, he might come back. And if he does come back, I would like for him to start his feud with Bonnie King. That way we can separate the group that he has with Bandito, and we could start that feud. And then after that feud, Buddy Matthews can go after Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title. You know what I'm saying? Now, will he take that belt? Not right away, but I think he should have a 2-month feud with Bonnie King until it's ready. You know what I'm saying? Because I do want him to be TNT champion, but I think Swerve is going to take that belt. So no offense to Buddy, but I think Swerve is going to take that belt. Now, I can't think of any other belt he could take. I'm trying to think. Because I don't know. I know we have 2 champions. So, yeah, well, I mean, he could go after Kyle Fletcher, you know what I'm saying? But, that's why I was thinking, like, maybe he could go after Kyle Fletcher, because I don't think he's going to go after Kansuka Okada. I don't think he's going to go after him, but, it's either Kyle Fletcher or Kansuka Okada, you know what I mean? And Leo said he should go after Kansuka Okada, but if he's going to be beefing with Bonnie King, I don't know how that's going to work. You know what I'm saying? But because, Bonnie King might stop him to his tracks and get caught, in the train tractor. You feel me? So, in the train tracks, that's what I meant to say. So it's like, they're going to be feuding, and I think they should feud for like 2 months. I think that would be a great story, and I think people will be invested because, you got Rhea Rebby's husband going against Bonnie King, 2 partners that were teaming up, and I am definitely going to be invested in that, and I think everybody should be invested in that because this is a rivalry that you need to see. And I think this will be great. I think Rhea Rebby will probably give it a little bit of light on social media. If she doesn't, it's probably because of WWE. But I do know if her husband win the big one, not the AEW title, but win the TNT title or what other title? The AEW Intercontinental title, Unified title, whatever you call it. I think that will. I think she'll give it some light. I think she will. But hopefully, this will make Buddy Matthews a bigger star, and hopefully, with Rhea fan base, hopefully, some WWE fans will be invested, and hopefully, this can bring ratings. But you will have to like execute that the right way, and hopefully Tony will do that because Tony, you can't fumble that. That's story. That's a story. That's a compelling story right there, right? You have Bonnie King versus Buddy Matthews. They feud for at least about 6 or 8 weeks. And then you have Buddy Matthews be the number one contender to go after Kazuchika Okada. So, but then again, Konosuke, he might want to get a piece of that belt. And that's what I'm saying. If these two can just betray each other at Wrestle Dream, then we can have a dream match between those two. And, I would love to see Asuka and Konosuke face each other because they need to. And then have Konosuke Takeshita go against Kazuchika Okada. And then we can have a rivalry between those two, And I just hope that we get a storyline with those two. Even though you see two Asians facing each other, it will definitely be a 5 out of 5 match. That's for sure. So something for New Japan to check out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely something worldwide for sure. To see two Asians go back and forth, I think that would be good. But we need to get Buddy Matthews to come back and start his feud with Bonnie King. But we have to take those tag team belts off of, Bandito and Bonnie King in order for that to happen. Maybe Buddy could be the one to cost them the belts. But in order for that to happen, we need some challengers. And I think that the Young Bucks should take the belts off of them. Either the Young Bucks, Jet Speed, or Jurassic Express. I mean, I'm not a big fan of them, but it's great to see Jack Perry though. But yeah, if they can go after the belts, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? The theme song is definitely got the aura, so so maybe that can help. I mean, whatever it can, man. It's just do something, bro. You know what I mean? Maybe you can, if you want to give it back to the Hurt Syndicate, you can. But in order for that to happen, I need to know when is Edge coming back? And is he coming back for good? Is he coming back at least for 1 year so we could see him win the tag team belts with Christian? Because Christian hasn't been on television since Edge left. So, maybe that's a sign of saying, hey, don't come out right now until Edge come back. So hopefully Edge will come back along with Beth and we can get or you know what? Let's have FTR let's make that shit up. Let's have FTR take the belts. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're heel, let's, Benito and Bonnie King, they're face. So have FTR come back for the belts and take it off of them and have Buddy Matthews cost them. That's storytelling. So yeah, have FTR take the belts so that way they could get some challengers. Let's do it. So hopefully that could be the case. But right now, it doesn't look like anything's moving. But AEW, it's gonna move. So better than WWE. So let's just wait. But I'm listen. I'll damn it. I guess I'll watch the match. But I just need change. Can we please get these two Asians, these two Chinese boys to face each other? Okay, can we get these two to portray each other? Okay, please. All right, so that way we can get a rivalry going, please. So, and then just have Bonnie and Benito, retained, so that way we could get FTF not FTF, FTR and Jet Speed or Young Bucks or Jurassic Express to take the belts off of them, please. Because, like I said, we need new challengers, man. We do. So please, 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 please switch it up. All right. But 500K, man. No, I'm sorry. That's a different match. My bad. But that's what I'm saying. But speaking of that, you got the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express for 500K. No, give us a fatal 4-way. Come on, that's what we need. Not this. But that's just me. But y'all comment down below. Let me know who you think should take those belts. But I think it should be FTR. FTR should take the belts. If we can't get nobody else. But I think FTR should take the belts, hold on to it until Edge and Christian come back, have them take the belts, and then, they'll be champions. So let's continue.
Facts, bro, Dito, man, that's stupid as shit. Which brings me to my next point. My biggest issue with AEW is why do so many people have to be double champions? I do not understand, bro. Dustin Rhodes had 3 belts at one point. First of all, why do you have to be the 3-man champion, the 6-man champion, and he was a tag team Ring of Honor champion? Like, bro, the Devon Eriks could have teamed up with somebody else to be the champions. Like that definitely don't make no sense. Now him and Sammy Guevara, that could be like a Sammy Guevara redemption story. Okay, fine. But he won that All In because he texted. I don't want to hear that, bro. That was a waste of having 3 belts. Now you got this clown with the Ring of Honor championship and a tag team belt. And I'm not talking about no Mercedes Moné for all you smart asses in the comment section, because she has 1 belt in AEW. 1 belt. She is not a double champ. She's not a 10-time champion, a 10-belt champion, 9-belt, 8-belt in AEW. She has 1 title. So she don't count. Now, if Athena would have won, the only justification I would have had for her having both belts is she could hit 1,000, then she gonna drop the belt and then still have the AEW Women's Championship. That's logical sense. When Kenny Omega had multiple belts, it was logical sense because it was from another company and he didn't have both of the belts. But now Kyle Fletcher wants the AEW championship and he's a TNT champion. Like certain things like that just don't make sense to me. Like, I don't know what Tony Khan doing, but having double titles doesn't necessarily bring up the prestige of the person. Like, they can make that 1 belt significant. Like, they make the belt don't make them. Okada coming out with his 3 belts, but he's a unified champion. Why was that man coming out with 3 belts for? You unified him. Throw them other 2 belts in the garbage.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then when Dustin Rhodes won it, but Sammy Guevara just turned heel. I just seen that. I don't even keep up with Ring of Honor, but you had Sammy Guevara turn heel a month later. So that was pointless. And then it's like, you calling it the Unified Championship is crazy to me. I thought it was going to get a new name. It's just the Unified Championship. And the Don Callis family got about 30 people in it. And you tell me one of your champions goes back to the title instead of, you could have had Josh Alexander go back to the title. Because he lost his debut to Hangman. So that would have made more sense for him to try to get the title and bring it to the Don Callis family.
Right, and at the end of the day, he's not even the top billing in the group. Takeshita still is like up there, maybe even more so than Kyle Fletcher still, because he's still putting on bangers, even though he don't got a belt. But he put on bangers here and elsewhere. So it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I know Tony Khan is trying to build people's resume, but we don't got to speed run this, bro. This is a 6-year company, bro. You got more time, bro. It's the company not about to go out of business. So I don't know why we're doing a speed run. Because if that's the case, then Tony Storm might as well be the TBS champion and the AEW Women's champion if we're going to go that route.
Yeah, Tony Khan can afford to be patient. I don't get rushing it with certain stars. Like, you pulled the trigger with Kyle Fletcher. Although it was a few weeks late, you still pulled the trigger. So don't try to force it to giving him multiple titles now.
Well, luckily Adam Page retained the title, but I kind of figured that he would. I mean, the purpose of the match was for Kyle Fletcher to get over to where down the road when people like Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay retires, you got Kyle Fletcher taking their place. So that was the purpose of the match. It's not for him to take the belt. That was not the case. The case was, are you ready for this belt? And he showed that he's ready. So, but even though Adam Page said he's not, he showed that he was ready. So that was the purpose of the match, to see if he was ready for the next big thing. And once he loses the TNT belt, I can see him, going after that belt one more time and try to take it. But I still would like MJF to take the belt because that's going to bring star power, especially if he's working on movies. I think that could help the company bring to his level in a certain way. So, but if Kyle Fletcher go after that belt, I ain't tripping. But maybe MJF can help him become babyface again. You never know. But other than that, like I hear what he's saying about the double champion thing, but I think that's a little bit biased because you can't say you don't like to see this doubles champion type shit in AEW, but Shawn Michaels got Soruka as double champion. And Stevie Valkyrie, when she was champion, right? When she was champion, she had to give up her North American title for the others to take it. How is that fair for her to, take the belt off of her, but Soruka get to keep the speed title? That's not fair because she should have lost that belt to Jada Parker, right? So that's a little that's kind of unfair to say when, yeah, okay, I get it. You don't like to see double champions in AEW. I get it, but you can't say that when Soruka is double champion and she hasn't lost neither one of her titles yet. The North American title is planned, but the speed title is still on her and nobody has taken it off of her. It should have been Jada Parker, but nobody won't. But hey, no, won't do it. I don't know why they won't do it. So, again, I disagree with that just because, NXT is doing that and they won't take the belt off of them. You know what I'm saying? When Lyra Valkyria was tag team champion and Intercontinental champion, I knew she was going to lose it, but I didn't think she was going to lose it the next day, which I thought that was pretty lame on Triple H's part because you obviously did that because of the backlash. I don't even think you did it because of the backlash. I think you did it because you just want to let Morgan be champion. That's what I'm saying. He's part of the squad, and that's the fucking problem. Everybody mad at Becky for taking Bayley's spot, but not mad at Liv Morgan for having her fans push Triple H to reverse his decision. I just thought that was lame. But, yeah, no. Listen, you might not like it, but at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So... because if you can't criticize Soruka for being double champion, then don't criticize the men or the women that are double champions in AEW. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair that you would have Soruka as double champion, but everybody else in AEW can't be double champion. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of it either, but that's just because it's like if you're gonna have opportunities need to be for separate people, you know what I mean? And one thing I don't like is the fact that one company gets criticized for being double champion, but the other doesn't. So, we got to make things fair. So, but the video is almost over, so I'm gonna let him finish. But no, I disagree. I think if you're going to talk about one company, you should talk about the other as well. So, again, you don't like the double championships at AEW, then you shouldn't like the double championships in NXT. So let's leave that alone. But let's get back to the video.
That's facts, and definitely, what I really don't want to see, I don't want to see a situation like a Hangman is the AEW champion, and then he teams up with somebody and win the tag team champions. He got both. I don't want to see that, bro. That's a tale as old as time, especially if they did some shit like Hangman and MJF, put them in a tag team. They can't coexist, but they somehow end up winning the tag team belts. Like Tony Khan, just please don't do that. And I could definitely see him doing something like that.
I don't agree.
They did that with MJF and Adam Cole.
Yep. And look how that turned out.
Well, that nigga Adam Cole just injury prone, so
get well soon, nigga. But you know what I'm saying, y'all, that's the video for today. We ain't even got to keep y'all that long. I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. If y'all want some more AEW content, Black House Booking, Affluential Sports are the two people of the family that you want to go to at top billing. And of course, we got my dog Ricky the Shadow. So maybe we'll get something popping, in the future, and OG as well.
Yeah. Well, I definitely don't like the Wrestle Dream match card. I think we should just focus on matches that are going to be worth the watch. And look, I mean, I'll say Adam Page versus Samoa Joe is worthy. Chris Stanlander versus Tony Storm is worthy. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe is worthy, and the I Quit match with John Moxley and Darby Allin is worthy, but the other two got to go. Either put them on Collision or put it on Dynamite. And honestly, there's no reason for to add these two on there because nobody cares about these two matches. Unless the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express go after Benito and Bonnie King for the tag team belts, I don't care about this. I really don't. I'm still waiting for the women's tag team belts. So I want to skip these matches so bad, but I'm probably going to, I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to skip them when I know that Tony Khan is going to book these matches into 5 out of 10 or, well, not 5 out of 10. I mean, 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. And, you know what I mean? And it's going to be very hard for me to ignore these matches when I know they're going to be great. But, boy, I wish it was for the tag team belts. But I don't know if he's going to add another match. But if he is, save it for 0 Hour because we don't want to see this, bro. 7 matches is good. You know what I'm saying? I wish you would replace them, but you won't do that. So 7 matches is good, man. Don't give us 12, man, please. All right? Next week is the week of Wrestle Dream, and we don't need another match, man. We really don't. Okay? You can save it for 0 Hour. But I can see him adding Eddie Kingston and Hook to the card and probably getting added on the card. You know what I'm saying? And then they're probably going to add, Ricochet on there, probably Hurt Syndicate, probably FTR, you know what I mean? But I think 7 matches is good enough. I can see him doing 9. I can see him doing 9 matches, but I think 7 is good. We don't really need no more. We really don't. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, hopefully you don't add another match, but if he does, it better be Kenny Omega versus Andrade, but it would be kind of pointless, especially if there's no bill, you know what I'm saying? So I guess we're going to have to wait till the next PLE for them. And plus Andrade is over at Puerto Rico, so, defending his title, so I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, man, I hope the best for AEW. I'm definitely going to watch Collision tomorrow. I'm going to try to go live so that way we can watch it together since I watched Title Tuesday, and we'll go from there. But y'all get in the comment box and let me know what y'all think about this video. Did they think they make some good points? Like I said, the only thing I disagree with them is the double title one, because it's like if Soruka is double champion, they're not willing to take the belts off of her, then you should have criticized, AEW for the double champion type shit, because NXT is doing the same thing. So, So that's the only thing. But everything else, I kind of agree with them, So any thoughts you have down below, I'll chime in. But y'all get in the comment box and let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think AEW is kind of taking these tag team matches a little bit too far? Is there any way you can, put these teams back in the tag team tournament? Do you think the women's division deserve better? Y'all comment down below. Let me know, all right? Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow, and I'll let y'all know if I go live for AEW Homecoming, all right? I'm out.